Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and if you are new here, welcome. I am really happy you stopped by. In today's video I am going to be sharing with you a quick room makeover I recently did in my guest bedroom, which used to be my daughter's room. I was just over this yellow color that was on the wall and I just wanted to brighten the space up. Again, we recently had our first granddaughter, so this is actually going to be her room. Now, the comforter, the pillows, all that, and the curtains, that was all brand new, never been used, so I am going to be keeping it in the room. And the furniture, yes, that will stay as well, but I will be doing some decluttering and adding a few very special elements, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, let's get into today's room makeover. So here's a look at the color that we will be painting this room, and as you can see, there is quite a difference between the original color and the new color. And this is what we're going to be using. It's a Sherwin-Williams paint and it's alabaster. So the first thing that I always do, and this is under the direct guidance and instruction of my husband, is you have to prep the room. And one of the key elements is making sure that the baseboards are taped off. So that's what my job is to go around and tape off all the baseboards. The next thing we do is we take off all the switch plates and everything like that, just so that we don't get paint on them and we can get right underneath. And what I like to do after I've taken these off is I will tape the screw to the back of the plate, just so nothing gets lost. And once that is done, then we just go through and we put a piece of tape over each socket, and just so that they don't get painted and stay clean. Then my husband, he likes to go through with where all the nails are, the nail holes, and put some spackling on it. And this is just what he uses, this dry Dex. This is what we usually have on hand. So he'll go through and cover up all the nail holes with that. And once it's dry, and it only takes about half an hour for it to dry, he'll go back through and give all these spots a quick sanding, so it makes our painting job a lot easier and smoother. And here's our little Yorkie, Gus. He had to come in. He has to be there, check everything out. And yes, he did get paint on himself. We have no idea how he did it, but yeah, he got into the paint, if you can believe it. Now, my next job is, and it's part of the painting process I actually really enjoy, is I will go through and I will do all the corners and feather them out, so it makes it easier for my husband to come in with the roller behind me and get it right into those corners. So that's what I do, is I go ahead of him and I paint all the corners out. And as you can see here, I just like to feather it out onto the wall so he can get as close as he can to that corner. Now, the other part of my job is to do the edging, and I actually really enjoy this part as well. So I'm going to show you a little trick I use for edging. I always have a wet cloth near me, and we use this edger. You can see it's been through many paint jobs. Once I dip it into the paint, I pull it back once onto the board, and then I brush it forward. And I find that helps to keep the paint off the wheels and disperses it onto the pad. And then to put it onto the wall, I start up a little bit higher to get the paint going and the rollers going, and then I bring it down to my edge. I will do, of course, the opposite when I go up against the ceiling. And then, like I do on the corners, I feather it out, and that just gives for a cleaner paint job when you're all done. So again, I just pull it back and then brush it forward to disperse the paint, and the wheels stay paint free. So now I'm just going to go around again after I've done all the corners and start edging, and my husband comes in behind me with the roller. Now, another little tip I have for you, if you can't get all your painting done, is take your wet brush, or in this case our wet edger, and you wrap it in a plastic bag, and it will stay wet with the paint overnight, so you don't have to wash anything or wait for anything to dry. That's a really great tip. Now, after everything was painted, it was time to put the room back together. And I had painted this little side table years ago, and I put some contact paper on the top. But again, I was over it, so I just ripped it off to give it a clean look on top. Now I'm just going to start putting things back in the room. This is the next day. The paint is all dry. We've put the furniture back. And the first thing I'm going to do is add in this lamp that was actually brass. And years ago, I spray painted it white and got a new shade for it. So I thought I would put it back in this room. And then I brought in all the pillows and everything else. As you can see, the comforter is back on the bed and just a few little accessories to add to the room. Now, of course, our granddaughter is a little bit little to be sleeping in this bed, but her parents can stay in there while she's in there, and she can be in her little bassinet. But this will eventually be her room to come and visit Grandma and Grandpa. And all these pillows I already had. They were my daughter's. She just left them when she moved out, and I thought they looked really pretty against this comforter. And of course, I had to put back up my skating picture. If you've been around for a while, you know that I used to teach skating, so this picture means a lot to me. And then I brought in my blanket ladder, and I grabbed out this pink blanket, and this is a very special touch. This blanket was given to me when my daughter was born, and those are her initials embroidered in the corner. And I thought what a beautiful little touch it would be to have her little blankie from when she was small in this room for my little granddaughter. Then I'm just going to go through and give everything a quick dust and start to accessorize the room. This used to be an old TV stand we had in the house, and again years ago I just restained the top and I used chalk paint on the bottom, and it now houses extra blankets and towels for any guests. My daughter, one of her favorite trips after graduating high school was when she went to Europe, and she went to Paris. So she had this in her room, and I thought it would be cute to add back in for her. And I'm just adding some more accessories around the room, playing with things to see how I like it. I'm sure everybody is the same. You just keep playing until you find something that works, and even then you start changing it up. And now I will give you a look at how the room turned out. It looks so much better in this nice bright white. It just looks clean and bright and fresh. And I think the comforter and the curtains really pop now. And I love it. I think it's going to be perfect as a little guest room for my daughter and her husband, and of course our little grandbaby to come over and stay. I absolutely love having the blanket ladder in here. It is one I made, and I will try to leave a link to that video in the cards above. And having my daughter's blanket on there is just so special. And of course the skating picture, because my daughter did also skate, so this really means a lot to me too. I think this TV stand in here is the perfect addition because we can always move those accessories off, and somebody can put bags on there or whatever they need, and of course they can grab extra towels and extra blankets. It actually is a perfect little addition to this room. On one side of this blanket is her initials and on the other is a shamrock because of our Irish heritage. So the blanket, you can see how much it means to me. I ended up putting in this diffuser in here. I thought it would be perfect to put on right before guests arrive and get the room smelling so beautiful and fresh. And this wreath above the bed is another one that I made. I had it on my front door last year, but I thought it looked just so pretty in here. It's a little small for over the bed, but it will serve its purpose now until I can find something that I like even better. But I thought it just was such a beautiful, feminine little touch for my little granddaughter's room. And of course, because I made it, it has a little bit more sentimental value in here for her. I think what I love most about this room is all the little special touches that I have put in here, like the Eiffel Tower that symbolizes my daughter's trip abroad, and her little pink blanket from when she was a baby, our skating picture, the wreath over the bed that I made. It just makes my heart so happy to have all these precious little mementos in this room. I would really like to thank you for stopping by and spending your time with me, and I hope that you enjoyed this video and got a little bit of inspiration to spruce up a room in your home if you're thinking of doing it. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and think about subscribing, because that really helps my channel out, and I do appreciate you so much for coming over and spending time with me. So until I talk to you in my next video, I hope you have a great week. Bye.
It's 2 a.m.